What's up, y'all? Chris. Here to talk about last night's crazy fight on UFC Fight Night 33 between Mark Hunt and Antonio Bigfoot Silva. I didn't even do a prediction vid for this fight or this event because it wasn't all that super high on the whole card in total, but I was looking forward to this fight. And it's funny, I put something out on Twitter just before the fight started, or maybe after the first round. I said, I, I'll be shocked if this fight, I'll be shocked amongst other things if this fight goes 5 rounds. Well, I was shocked that it went 5 rounds, and amongst other things, I would say entertained, in disbelief, um, just in awe. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I'll say this. This was one of the most entertaining fights I have seen ever, ever in my life. I'm not saying this is, it's hard to say what's a best fight when you say this is one of the best fights I've seen. Everyone has a different take on what a best fight is. Is a best fight a technically brilliant fight? Is it a back and forth war? Is it something in MMA, particular that may not be the most technical, but just an absolute test of wills of both men, where they just put everything out there? Similar to Gotti and Ward in boxing. Those fights may not have been the most highly skilled, but some of the most entertaining fights anyone that saw them has ever seen. And that's what this fight was for me. I mean, I didn't expect it to be that crazy, that back and forth, that much of a war, but the fact that it was, and the fact I think that adds to it, is that the guys are heavyweights, particularly if you know anything about Bigfoot Silva and Mark Hunt, massive heavyweights, guys that can put dudes down with one shot. The fact that they were not only able to not take each other out, but they were able to absorb so much damage. And not only that, another thing that you need in great fights, swings and momentum. That's what makes great fights, swings and momentum. And you had instances in this fight where Mark Hunt put Bigfoot down early. Bigfoot took out Mark Hunt's leg, and I think the second round, late in the second round, it looked like maybe Hunt's not going to be able to continue. He's basically a one-legged fighter, and he's pretty slow and flat-footed, as is relatively. Hunt or Silva, Bigfoot ended up putting Hunt on his back, got on top of him like he was going to pound him out on the ground. Hunt came back and did the same. I mean, both guys were close to being finished on the ground, but were able to survive cuts, bleeding. The fifth round, both guys were completely just fatigued, but also not only just fatigued from cardio, but the fact that they had both absorbed so much punishment and damage, it had taken so much out of them, but they kept going. And Hunt looked like he was going to on his way to a finish in the fifth round, and he had to open a nasty cut on Bigfoot. This was the only bad part of the fight. The only part that I think I saw fans complaining about on Twitter was the doctor or the referee stopped the fight in the fifth round to check a cut on Silva when he looked to be out on his feet, and they were worried the fight might get stopped. It didn't, thankfully. But they felt like it kind of saved Silva. That Hunt would have had the opportunity to finish him off. We'll never know. But in a way, I don't mind. It went to the scorecards. It ended up being a draw. And I think that I didn't even score. I couldn't score. There's too much going on. I mean, did you score? If you're a boxing fan, did you score Corrales Castillo 1? Or if you're an MMA fan, did you score? I don't know. I'm sure you scored Jones versus Gustafsson or this year and Melendez versus Sanchez, but sometimes you get so caught up in a fight that you don't even keep track of it. You're just so caught up in the moment of what you're watching, you lose track of what the score is because you have no idea. You don't even think it's going to go to the finish. This fight did. I didn't score it. It went to a draw. I had no problem with the draw. I thought it was fitting. This is one of those fights. I know it seems cliche to say there's no losers in this fight, but I don't think either man deserved to lose this fight, just based on the fact that they both were able to go all 5 rounds, 25 minutes. War of attrition, man. Just a grueling fight. Awesome fight. I mean, earlier this year, people were talking best fight in MMA or in UFC this year. Jones, Gustafsson. No, first it was Vanderlei Silva versus Brian Stann. Then it was John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Then it was Diego Sanchez versus Gilbert Melendez. Now it's Mark Hunt versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva, man. When it comes down to fight of the year in MMA this year, it's going to be a interesting discussion, but this is definitely up there. Like I said, one of the most exciting fights I've seen in a long time. I wouldn't say it's Corrales Castillo comparison, Now, I don't want to go that far, but as far as my level of excitement throughout, pretty damn close. Um, Other than that, though, else on the card? Glad to see Mauricio Shogun Hill get a vintage knockout. Um, Otherwise, I mean, if he would have lost, people were talking about retirement for him, but he came back, showed he still got the firepower. He may not be the fighter he once was, but he still got the firepower in his hands. I mean, the dude's got like finishes in all but 2 of his wins, so good to see him back on the winning track, even if it's not going to, necessarily reinvigorate his career. But that's it for the rest of the card. Whatever, not worth seeing. But if you saw this fight, let me know what you thought. If you didn't see this fight, whether an MMA fan or a boxing fan, if you're a fight fan, period, just a fight fan, you need to watch this fight, even if you already know the result. I know it sucks if you know the result because I kind of spoiled it, but whatever. If you're watching this video, you probably we're going to find out anyway. But just go watch this fight, even if you didn't see it, man. Trust me, if you're a fight fan like me, you will enjoy this fight just to see the display put on by these dudes. But yeah, that's it for now, man. Just want to hear your guys' thoughts on this fight if you saw it and what you thought about it. And if not, go and watch it and let me know what you thought afterwards. That's it for now. A lot of fights stacked later on to watch today. But till next time, links to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram as always. And I'm out.